Hello, 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 everybody. See if it's working. Hold on. I think it's working. Okay. The last thing is making sure my chat's working, so give me one moment. Because chat does not like me. So give me a second. How's everyone doing today? Happy Valentine's Day. Hello, Ariana. Ari's here to support the stream. Is it working? There we go. Okay, looks like the chat's working. Excellent. Yep, so I have a twofold thing now. I actually have stream transition, so I'm upgrading, you know? So audio's here. Good. Excellent. Yeah, no, I have stream transitions now, so I have ones focused on my face and ones focused on the game. So, you know, upgrades. It's about all I've gotten so far, but, you know, I'll take the technology upgrades. So, hello, everybody. Welcome to my Orlando Regionals recap. It was an interesting adventure. I learned a lot. We'll start with that. So, I was not expecting, just even start off, I was not expecting just how intense it was going to be. The background music is bothering me. Give me a second. There we go. Can't listen to the music and also talk right now. So yeah, I was not expecting just how intense it was going to be. So for those who don't know, how regionals work is you show up bright and early in the morning and they start matching you, and then they go right through till you do 10 rounds on day one. And if you qualify for day two, you move on to day two. That means you're showing up around 8:30 on Saturday morning, and you're playing straight through until it's done, which in this case, due to some technical difficulties and just the way things were working, ended up being about 14 hours. We didn't get out of there till almost 11 p.m. So just to start off, we just did not realize just how intense it was going to be, how exhausting. But it was an absolutely incredible experience. So I had so much fun. I cannot wait to go back for the next one. I've learned so much. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So to begin, my record for the event. So they, unlike the ladder that we're doing on here, which is only one match and you don't have open team sheets or anything, the regional events are done best of threes. So there are 10 rounds, but each round is best of three. So I ended up winning. Getting a weird error message. I ended up winning 2 rounds, like 2 overall round sets. I lost 8. But within the 8 that I lost, only 2 of them ended up being sweeps. The other ones were actually really close. And a couple I would have won if it wasn't just for bad luck, like multiple crits in a row, things like that. So there were a couple that I was primed to win, and then they, for one of my matches, ended up getting 3 crits in a row, which just started one-shotting my team. I had them down to like their last Pokemon, and they just started critting. So I just had some bad luck in some places, but I wanted to take this time to kind of go over my team, talk a little bit about what my team was for Orlando, because it was a little bit different than what I was playing in season 1 of the series, because they changed the rules up, which is exciting. You can see down here in the bottom just how, yeah, I have a lot of the same, but I do have some new members of the team. You can see there's 2 new Paradox Mons in there, 2 Paradox Mons, which last time we were playing weren't allowed. So we're going to talk a little bit about my team, talk a little bit about what everyone looked like, what their roles ended up being, and then what I learned. And then we'll actually take some time and we'll play a little bit with this team in the ladder, even though it's not going to be my team moving forward. I haven't finished building my new team here. I've been playing in Showdown to test it out. So we'll talk about what my team is going forward. We'll play a couple of matches here in this team. I see in the chat, we were asking, how did Nibbles do? So Nibbles was very excited. For if you didn't have a chance to watch Nibbles' Instagram posts, Nibbles was live gramming some of his experiences. Nibbles ate many things. He bit many things. Nibbled a lot of stuff. He had a lot of fun. There definitely was one of the rounds, and we'll talk about it, where his mom, Nibbles Sr., who's on the team, came through as the MVP. So Nibbles had a lot of fun. I think Nibbles is very excited to go back. Shucky, which is Matt Shuckle, also had a lot of fun. He's not up here. He's taking a nap right now. But Shucky had a lot of fun. Nibbles did try to steal some of his swag, but Shucky did fight him off in the end. So let's talk teams. So my team for Orlando ended up being some of the same as before, but some different ones. So we're going to start off with, and I'm going to do a nice transition. Ooh, fancy. I don't know if my chat, oh, 1 second. I don't know if my chat switched over. Oh, no. No, my chat didn't move. Give me 1 second. I thought I had it all nice. I thought I had no tech issues. Oh, darn. Okay. Doing so well. So we'll test that out. So if you start chatting, we'll see if it shows up. Oh, I know what's going on. No, it is working. It's just, for some reason, when I played around with my new overlay, I think I messed up my setting. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, there's the team. Okay, there's the chat. So yeah, when I was doing my my overlay on the other one, I messed it up, but that's fine. It works. That's what matters. So yeah, so as you can see, we did add a couple new members of the team. So to kind of recap, we have Hair Trap, who is our Grimmsnarl. So Hair Trap ended up being pretty instrumental in regards to how, into just control in regards to preventing like first rounds and kind of having that fake out pressure. So I actually had someone that was really, like, in one of the battles that I was in, the person was really complimentary, was like, said that he's multiple times, he was very concerned about Hair Trap, because Hair Trap was just coming in and out real fast and was just messing with some of his plans, especially because and right now Hair Trap has the covert cloak. That was a new addition. We switched it off. It was leftovers during the event. But Grimmsnarl, Hair Trap was just doing, oh, actually, no, sorry. During the event, Grimmsnarl was fire. Hair Trap was fire. I did switch it up because I was testing him out with my new team. So I switched him to Steel, but, yeah, he was Terrifier for the event. So Terrifier, a little bit of a change. We had a different item, but his stats were the same, and so were his moves. So, Spirit Break, getting that special attack drop was really nice. It did screw me over, unfortunately, in one battle, because I, without thinking, Spirit Breaked into, after attempting to Parting Shot, I just really messed up. I attempted to Parting Shot a Defiant Pokemon. So for those of you who don't know, Defiant Pokemon, if they have a stat drop, their attack goes up by 2. I wasn't thinking, because typically it was a dark Pokemon. It was King Gambit, and typically you can't do a prankster move on anyone who is a dark type. So I'm usually pretty good at remembering that. I've messed it up a couple before, but I'm usually pretty good at remembering that in the moment. I had remembered that. I was really excited I remembered it. And then it terastallized, and it was no longer dark. So in my very blank brain in that moment. I went, oh, I can parting shot it. Mind you, I have open team sheets. I see it's Defiant. I specifically looked at the team sheet where it said Defiant and said, don't do that. I did it, which raised its attack by 2. So, stupid move. And then, without thinking, I also then Spirit Breaked it, which also dropped its attack, which then dropped its special attack, which then raised its attack by 2. So I maxed out this freaking King Gambit's attack just because I made stupid mistakes. So it swept my team. It was dumb mistakes. That's on me. But besides that, overall, Hair Trap did a great job. Hair Trap was really controlling the field. Those fake outs came in clutch when they needed to. So I've ended having Taunt, having Parting Shot. Parting Shot saved me with a Pokemon that Mouse Hold. Because hitting it with a Parting Shot dropped its attack, so it didn't one-shot my Pokemon with Population Bomb. So that was really good. So overall, Hair Trap did really well. Next up, we have Nibbles Sr. So Nibbles Sr. was absolutely the MVP in the first match I won. So I lost my first 3, which was rough because it was just a tough start to the day, losing 3 in a row. But then I came back and it was a funny moment because I sat down at the table and the person was across from me and there was a Pokemon trading card on the table. And I was wearing a Cynthia shirt. I had my Nibbles with me. And so the person picks up the card, which is a Cynthia card, and goes, oh, is this yours? And I was like, no, it's not. He's like, oh, I assumed you were wearing a Cynthia shirt. So I thought, and you have Nibble, you have a Garchomp, or have a Nibble, like Gibble, Nibble, have a Gibble. So I thought it was yours. Maybe it's good luck. It's like as a joke. Nibble Sr. was like, I see your Cynthia, and I am showing off for, like, the queen of the Garchomp, because Nibble Sr. just tanked that match. Like, Nibble Sr. ended up coming in clutch. There was a moment where we were the final 2 Pokemon on the field. It was Nibbles on my side, already Terastallized to Steel, and they had a Garchomp on their side, which was Terastallized to Ground. So, it was, if they hit me with a ground move, I was going down, because, you know, I'm Steel type, I'm weak to the ground. I was convinced I was going to lose this. And I don't know, because I'm, like, stat-wise, I'm max speed. I'm assuming they were also max speed. It would make sense, but maybe they weren't. But I was assuming we were going to be a speed tie, so I was like, please let me win the speed tie, because as long as I hit it with something, it's going down. I just had to hit it with something. And so I went for it, fingers crossed, hoping that I was going to make it. And if it was a speed tie, Nibbles went not today. If it wasn't a speed tie, then Nibbles was already just fast, but Nibbles took it out so fast. It was great. So Nibbles was the MVP in that first round. And then again, in the next round, Nibbles ended up just sweeping. And it was just like, wow, Nibbles did fantastic. So Nibbles did a really good job. I definitely found that there was some weaknesses, like, throughout my team, where Nibbles was pretty strong and consistent throughout. But a lot of people, when they see a Garchomp, they assume, pretty rightfully, that it's going to be running Earthquake. So I ran into some problems with some flying types. And I also ran into problems with an Earthworm, since Earthworm has Earth Eater and is immune to ground types, and then heals from Earth ground types moves. So that was a little rough, because I wasn't anticipating so many Flying Terras. So that definitely made it rough, because I didn't have a lot to deal with Flying Terra. But Nibbles did really well. I was very proud of her. Next up, and one of the new members of the team, we have Luna Tenebris. So Luna Tenebris is my shiny Roaring Moon. So great Pokemon, absolutely a beast, super fast, pretty fragile, unfortunately, but that kind of happens with the give and take of having a high special, or having a high attack, not special attack. But also very importantly, it has photosynthesis. So with photosynthesis, for those who don't know, if it's Harsh Sunlight or they have a booster energy, which she does, it boosts their highest stat. So I specifically, if you look at the EVs, you can see I specifically maxed out the speed, and attack and hit points got split because attack isn't maxed out. If I had maxed out the attack would actually be higher, and then Luna Tenebris wouldn't be the fastest thing on the field. So it was very reliant on her basically coming in and being very fast. She did a great job. I messed myself up. So as most of you know who have been watching, I was previously using Lurna. Lurna has Levitate. Lurna is the same typing as Luna Tenebris, so they fit a very similar corner of my team. Unfortunately, because Luna Tenebris also has the Flying Terra, my brain sometimes forgot that I have to actively terastalize it before it doesn't get affected by ground moves. I sabotaged myself in one of the matches where I was set to win, because without thinking, I basically did a parting shot with Grimmsnarl, came into Luna Tenebris, and without thinking about the consequences, hit Earthquake on Nibbles, and proceeded to knock myself out. So, good job me. Learned my lesson. So I don't think I'll ever do that again, but that was very embarrassing in that moment of just, oh no, I clicked the button and I'm not a Flying Terra, I am going to die. So that was a very stupid moment. I was kicking myself afterwards about that one. But I have fluff in my eye. Oh, blanket shedding on me. So it was a great Pokemon. It was really good at setting the speed, setting Tailwind. Like, it was really good at speed management. Like, it was great. Unfortunately, I struggled sometimes with maneuvering it onto the field at the right moment. So I definitely had, and this is where I learned one of the mechanics, which you'll see with my new team. One of the mechanics that I realized I wanted was what I was doing with Lurna, which is the ability to switch in a Pokemon that was immune to whatever move I was hitting the field with. Because I really like AoE moves. I really like being able to hit everyone on the field, but I need to make sure that the Pokemon I'm switching in is immune to it. So that was something I kind of took away from the Orlando Regional, because I realized that, hey, I liked that mechanic. I liked doing that with Lurna because it made it a really good, easy pivot. So being able to do that with my team was really important to me. So while Luna Tenebris was on the team for the weekend, and did a great job, more that it taught me what I wanted in my team versus keeping specifically this Pokemon on the team. Boom. Like before, Boom was here. Boom is a menace. Boom definitely shown at times, just completely just came in and just wrecked. So definitely she did a great job. She is pretty hefty and can hold on to, she can hold on through a couple of hits, but I think a lot of people weren't expecting, because a couple people hit her with moves that they were like, wow, I expect her to take more damage. So she was very hefty. And a couple of times came in clutch with just being able to take things out and having the extra fake out there and the knockoff, because knocking off a couple of items on the other team really came in clutch when I needed it, because it prevented them from doing extra damage or prevented them from going first. So definitely had some good luck with that. Came into problems with the Terra type, unfortunately, because one of the biggest Pokemon, and one of the Pokemon that ended up being one of my biggest issues, and it's one of the most popular Pokemon that came out of the event, was Iron Hands. And Iron Hands is great, but Iron Hands also... Am I still streaming? Okay. For some reason that was weird. I had a weird glitch there for a second. Am I still up? Okay. That was very weird. For some reason, my stream said it was offline, and I was like, am I offline? So yeah, one of the things that I realized was I needed something to deal with Iron Hands that wasn't just Garchomp. Because Garchomp was great, but a lot of times Iron Hands had Flying Terra, and I didn't have much to hit them with. So or they had had the Grass Terra. So either way, it was something that I didn't have a lot to hit them with when it came to moves that were super effective to them. So I almost never terastallized Boom because of that the Water Terra type, which put me at a disadvantage against an Electric type. So that was something I kind of walked away with, which was we had originally chosen Water for its resistances to things like Steel, because Make It Rain was one of my biggest issues when I was doing the ladder here. But Make It Rain ended up not being one of my biggest issues actually at the event. So learned a lot there. The ladder is definitely not the best example of what Pokemon are in the meta in regards to regionals. So definitely makes it difficult, because you definitely have to think like your team for the ladder and then your team for the event. But Boom did really well. Angus ended up being a pretty big MVP. So for those who've been watching me on the ladder, you probably saw I didn't end up bringing Angus a lot towards the end, because it kind of felt like Angus was not as strong in the ladder. And Angus ended up sitting out a lot. That was almost the complete opposite of my experience at the regional. Angus came to almost every match. Angus definitely just came in and wrecked house. So multiple people complimented Angus as like a build. They weren't expecting the Steel Terra. They weren't expecting the fact that like I was able to take out so many of their Pokemon with Aqua Jet or the Raging Bulls. So really had a great experience with Angus, because Angus ended up being one of the most popular sets that I found that I was going into ended up being Armor Rouge and Indeedee. And so when Angus hit the field, having that Raging Bull being a water type, going into the Armor Rouge, especially since Angus is so fast. So yeah, even though Angus is weak to the Psychic when not terastallized and weak to the Fire when terastallized, I had really good luck because I was just so fast, I was taking them out. So Angus ended up being a really good play into Psychic, which I was not expecting, or at least specifically into that set of Indeedee and Armor Rouge, which I was not expecting, because I wasn't having that same luck on the ladder with it. So that was a very kind of surprising experience, but it was really interesting. So yeah, Angus had a really good job in just wrecking and took a lot of people out. So that was really good. And then last up, we have our other new teammate, FedEx. So FedEx is our shiny Iron Bundle. Iron Bundle is the fastest Pokemon in the meta right now. Even before I maxed out its speed, it outspeeds, base stat-wise, every other Pokemon in the game. It is absurdly fast. So it was a really good speed control that was good because especially paired with Tailwind, because Tailwind is great for getting me fast, but a lot of people have Tailwind. And especially right now with the meta, there are so many things that are dragons and so many things that are flying, both which are weak, and then a lot of things that are water. So both flying and dragon being weak to like freeze dry and icy wind also dropping your speed was great. Freeze dry being super effective on water types was really helpful. The problem I kept running into is I was not doing a lot of damage outside of those very specific situations, and it is also very squishy. So while I was faster than everything, which was great, 2 hits and I'm dead. I say 2 hits because I had a focus sash on it. If I didn't have the sash, it'd be 1 hit and I was dead. So FedEx did a really good job, but I ended up not bringing it very much because a single hit from Iron Hand, since it's a water type and an ice type, so a single electric move or a single fighting move would take me out, and Iron Hands was everywhere. And then just, I was really struggling and trying to maneuver it against the other team, because the other team often would just shuffle through protects and then just kill it before it had a chance to do anything. I think a lot of people, because this was such a high like Pokemon in the meta of what people thought were going to come into the regionals, a lot of people prepared for it. So that's rough. Because I was really kind of leaning into the meta there and like finding a Pokemon, since I really, in the end of Sword and Shield, really love Regieleki, and this had a very similar kind of role of being super fast and having a speed reduction with Noisy Wind. So it had a very similar role, which is a role I really like on the team, but I definitely struggled in actually doing it in practice because too often it was just, it hit the field and it was dead before it got to do anything because it would get faked out and then someone would priority move it and then it was gone. So I really kind of struggled with that and ended up not bringing it to very many matches, which is sad because I kind of anticipated it being one of my main members of the team, and I expected it to come in more than Angus since it had some water moves. It has a water move, even though it's not a very strong water move. It's not a water move, and it had the speed controls. Angus ended up coming in way more often, so that definitely was disappointing. But kind of had to learn from that. So the team was really good overall, but it was very much, I learned pretty quickly, I'm gonna focus back in on me. I learned pretty quickly that I leaned very hard into the basic meta without really understanding a lot of what was going on overall. So what does that mean? It means that I kind of took a lot at face value without actually doing too much research. So that's on me. I got very overwhelmed early on trying to figure out what I needed to learn, how you build a team. So I was relying a lot on like talking with Matt and playing through on the ladder. And like I said here, the ladder is rough because the ladder is very different than when you're actually in person doing these matches and it's best of 3. On top of that, I definitely psyched myself out a lot with the open team sheets. I did not realize just how badly I psyched myself out with the open team sheets. I was not prepared with how to read them, and I ended up overwhelming myself. So how it worked, and unfortunately I was going to bring mine in and I forgot to grab it before I sat down. Basically, you got a piece of paper, just a paper they printed out. Mine ended up being 2 pages. I was one of the only people that had 2 pages because Angus's name in other languages was 3 lines long and pushed me to a second page. Everyone else's was mostly 1 page. But you had a piece of paper. They gave it to you at the start of the day after you submitted your teams. And every match, you'd sit down with your opponent, get everything set up, and you'd exchange sheets. So I would hand the opponent my sheet. They would hand me theirs. Unfortunately, like, it's great because it has all the information, but there's so much information. And so I started psyching myself out a lot because I started trying to play like mental chess and thinking like 3 steps ahead. And so I would look at the sheet and say, okay, who do I think they're going to bring? Who would I bring? And then I hear a Matt. I hear somebody behind me, I think. My team sheet. Or yes, my team sheet. At least the first page of my team sheet. So team sheet. Ooh, this is hard to read. So you can see it's very, there's a lot of information on here. It's very overwhelming. It's in multiple languages. It's a lot. And so I did myself a favor when I was sitting, because I would have a piece of loose leaf paper. I would take the loose leaf paper and I would cover everything in the other languages. So I only saw it in English. So that way I wasn't getting super overwhelmed by all the information. Oh, here's the other page. Thank you to the Pokemon elves behind me. So multiple pages. So I would hand it to them. It has my information on it. They would hand me theirs. I started thinking 2 steps ahead, or trying to, and unfortunately would just mess myself up because I would go, okay, they have blank team. What do I think they're going to bring? What am I going to bring? And what do I think they're thinking I'm going to bring based on what they're reading on my sheet? So I was trying to like play this game that ended up just messing me up too much because I had no idea what I actually was going to do and ended up not bringing really cohesive teams at the first couple of matches because I was trying to kind of play to what I thought they were going to bring potentially, and then they wouldn't end up bringing it. And I didn't bring Pokemon that paired well together. I kind of tried to do a bunch of coverage and didn't actually play to, hey, what should I bring that would go nicely together? Which ended up messing me up. And so after the third match, because the third match was really rough, I got absolutely swept. The first 2 matches were really close, went back and forth. They were best of 3. Yeah, Pokemon Elf is just an impidimp. It's true. It's true. At least it's not a Grimmsnarl yet. That's still stuck in my shower drain. But I ended up sitting down and I was talking to Matt after the third match because I just got absolutely swept. It was awful. I was not prepared for the mechanics of the team they brought in. They had a really cohesive team. And so I sat down with Matt and I was really kind of stressing about it because at that point, I'll be honest, I said to Matt, I did not prepare myself for the possibility that I don't win any matches today. I mentally had been like, I'm going to win at least one, right? That's what my goal was, win at least one. And 3 matches in, I kind of started doubting myself a bit. I went, I haven't won any. I got absolutely wrecked in that last match. What happens if I don't win any? How mentally am I going to handle this? Like, am I just going to walk away and say I don't want to do this again? And I was starting to get a little down. And so to kind of reset, we walked outside. We had a little bit of a break. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to kind of take a step back. I'm going to stop overanalyzing the team sheets. And I'm going to play this a little bit more like I'm on the ladder. So when they handed me their team sheet, I'd do a quick scan. I'd see what Pokemon they had in the same way that I would sort of look at the team sheet, like the team on ladder. And then I would check for a couple of important things, like did they have Wide Guard? Did they have any Pokemon that I needed to have there were specific moves I needed to be aware of, such as, or abilities I needed to be aware of, such as Defiant on King Gambit. And then basically called it at that and didn't look too much at the actual moves and terrors they had until they actually hit the field. So that way I kind of looked at it a little bit more high level than trying to focus more on their terras and their moves and everything, because I was just messing myself up trying to anticipate too much and just made it worse for myself. Ari is jumping around my desk and I don't know what she's doing. So by taking that step back and going, no, I'm just going to just take it as they come. I'm going to check that once the Pokemon hits the field, I'll see what their Terra type is, what their moves are, but I'm not going to do that beforehand. And that really helped. And then I came back and ended up winning my next match. And after that, most of my other matches were very, very close. So I felt a lot better once I kind of learned that tip. Another thing is because you can take notes during the match. You can't take the notes with you to your next match. Like every round, you have to get a new sheet of paper. So I ended up not taking a lot of notes. That's something that I want to practice before the next time, is taking notes, because it ended up, I'm not sure what a lot of people notated down. I think it's different for everyone. I know Matt like went move by move and like started writing down like how much % of his damage something did. And I think I need to start doing that for practice, because I think that's really good. It's kind of acknowledging, oh, hey, my Icy Wind did 20% of their damage, or like I did 80% of their damage with it, or whatever it is. So that way I'd be better prepared for knowing each round, each move, like, should I be hitting the Icy Wind? Should I be hitting the Freeze Dry? Whatever it is. So that's something I want to come away and practice before Charlotte, is taking notes and figuring out what I should put on a notes page. So yeah, I don't know if anyone has any kind of questions about how it ended up, like any questions about anything so far, but that kind of was my overall recap on how Orlando went. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer. So we'll give it a moment. Drink my water. So beyond what happened at Orlando with my matches, I walked away from Orlando. Oh, here's a question. What is the number one piece of advice you would give to pre-Orlando cast? Oh, that's a great question. So the number one piece of advice that I would give to Cass before all of this would be, don't expect, I think pre-Orlando cast expected to do better than I actually did. because I was doing more wins than losses on the ladder in regards to playing here and actually doing like the online ladder, I was doing a lot better than I ended up doing in actual practice at Orlando. And I think I started to psych myself out when I wasn't doing as well as I thought I was going to. I definitely had those moments of, I'm not good enough, I should just give up. So part of the advice I'd give to pre-Orlando cast is something that I actually did, which is play through to the end. A lot of people quit partway through because once they didn't hit enough points to qualify to earn points towards Worlds, a lot of people just kind of just said, I withdraw. And so I ended up pushing through and doing all of it, which I'm really glad I did because I learned a lot throughout it. And even those matches I lost towards the end that I was really exhausted and I just wanted to go to bed, I learned so much. And I went and did it, which is definitely something that I wanted to be proud of myself and saying to past casts, hey, be proud of yourself for actually doing it, because it's something that I'd wanted to do for years, but I was nervous. I was really kind of scared. I was afraid of putting myself out there. And so telling pre-Orlando cast, hey, the most important part is not how many you win, it's not how many you lose, it's not anything else, it's that you finished out the day and you're actually here. Because that's better than anything I've done before. And so trying to hold myself to Wolf's level or Aaron Zhang or any of these people that are professionals is just unrealistic. I'm someone who's new to this. But in my head, I'm like, oh, but what happens if I'm like secretly really good at this? I'm not. Because it's not something that you can just be secretly really good at. The people who are fantastic at this are working at it. They're studying, they're doing a lot of research, they're spending a lot of their time on this. It's not something like anything. It's not something that you can just be like magically a savant at. It's something that even the best people are really good that are really good at it. They're practicing. They're not just good because they don't do anything. It's not just natural to them. So reminding myself that, hey, the first step is being here. Hey, the first step is playing and actually putting yourself out there is important. And then not taking it to heart when I didn't do as well and saying like, hey, the win was being here, not how many you actually won. And then looking at that and saying, where do I go from there? Because that ended up being my biggest win, in my opinion, for the weekend was I showed up, I did the 14 hours, I learned a lot, and I'm ready to go again and take what I learned and try again. And it's just kind of like Captain America. I can do this all day. Like, it's when they knock you down, just pick yourself back up. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I ended up learning over it, which is just, okay, I didn't do well. What's next? Like, don't harp on that. So for people who are looking to get into VGC and looking in even if not just VGC, looking to get into anything or putting yourself out there, trying something new, just don't be hard on yourself. You're trying something new, you're putting yourself out there, and that's a win to begin with. And then just take what you can learn when you get beaten down and try again. And just remember that it's just about what you're learning. So I would say that's probably the biggest thing that I would take away from that and say that I would want to tell pre-Orlando cast, tell anyone who's trying to get into it, just the biggest win is being there. So that's a really good question. So yeah, so if there's no other questions, let's talk about, I bumped my computer screen. I am a mess today. So let's talk about what comes next. So I've started looking at what I want my team to be for Charlotte. So Charlotte is in 6 weeks, which feels like a long time, but we're already 6 weeks past New Year's, and so it feels like it's not that long at all at the same time. So what is my Orlando team right now? What does my Charlotte team look like? And the answer is nothing like my Orlando team. After Orlando, I walked away and I went and actually did some studying, which I didn't do beforehand because I kind of did the thing where I do and I show up and I try to wing the exam, and sometimes I do well and sometimes I don't. The answer was I didn't do well in winging the exam, so I need to actually study. And I went and did some research, checked out like VGC guide and some of the theories behind like what your team should look like, what some of the moves are, what people recommend in regards to like speed tiers and the parts of your team. And one of the biggest things that I realized I didn't do in my first team, which is what really messed me up. I tried to do it in some places, but I didn't do it successfully, which is one of the biggest theories on VGC is that you need to really have like your Pokemon in pairs. It's not just 6 random Pokemon on a team, it's really sets of Pokemon that work together. And knowing when the Pokemon are on the field, how are they supporting each other? Which I was doing a little bit with Grimmsnarl and Boom and how I was supporting with like Fake Out and things like that. But I wasn't really looking at how do they play together. I was looking a little bit more too much at like what I was doing to the other team separately versus what I was doing to the other team together. And then how I was impacting my teammates. So that was my biggest takeaway was I was as evidenced with my mess up with Lerna, or not Lerna, with Luna Tenebris, where I thought she was like Lerna. I realized that I really liked the mechanics of spread moves with Pokemon that I could switch in and out freely without impacting them. And that ended up being something that I wanted to play with for my next team because I think that's really successful. One of the teams I came up against that I just had nothing to stop them was a team like that. And I'm like, you know what? I want that. I want to try playing with that. So I've been really playing around on Pokemon Showdown with it while I've been trying to kind of figure out what I want my team to be. And I've been doing a lot of like testing of different teams. I had to blow my nose. I apologize. Or not. I don't have a tissue box anymore. The cats took it. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Coming back up north after being in Florida for a week, my nose is very angry. One more second. I can breathe again. It's wonderful. Wonderful when you can breathe. So what I ended up deciding is I wanted to play around with Pokemon that could be freely traded in and out because I wanted to keep that movement on the field, especially since a lot of people right now are playing around with mechanics to try to freeze you onto the field and like drop your stats. The longer you stay on the field, the worse off you are. So I wanted to be able to freely trade Pokemon in and out without hurting myself with the spread moves. So I've decided I want to try playing around with that. And so there's some Pokemon out there that are really good at not taking damage from their teammates, whether it's from a type that's just not affected, that's just completely immune to an attack type, whether it's an ability that prevents you from getting hit by your partner's moves, or there's a lot of different things out there. So I decided I wanted to play with that. So I started looking at what I wanted my team to be. And currently I'm not finished making the team here. I've been playing with it in Showdown, but I do have the Pokemon set. I just have to finish building them and evolving them in this case. But the team I'm looking at, and this is where I'm going to be opening it up to the chat as well to help me come up with nicknames, because my old team had all the nicknames, but my new team only one person has a nickname. So currently, the team that I've been playing with, that I'm going to be trying out, is Rust Bucket, the Sandy Shocks. And this team is Whoops All Shinies. So every Pokemon on this team is a shiny, so keep that in mind when you're coming up with names. But we have Sandy Shocks, which is Rust Bucket, which is, Electric Ground, and I put a Steel Terra type on there with a Booster Energy. This one specifically, when playing around with it, I realized that this was a good Pokemon to stick in there in regards to an immunity, because while it is an electric Pokemon, it's also ground, which means I can put it next to Pokemon with like Discharge or something, and it won't take any effect from it. In turn, it pairs very nicely next to my other Pokemon that are also immune to Discharge. And then I have Earthquake on it, so that way I can put it next to a flying Pokemon that won't take effect from Earthquake. Which is important and does come up. So next up, we have Gardevoir. This Gardevoir does have Telepathy. So Telepathy prevents you from getting hit by your allies' spread moves. So in moves like Earthquake or Discharge, which typically would hit your ally Pokemon as well as the other team, Gardevoir avoids those. I've been playing around with him. He is a Steel Terra. I believe is this Terra I'm going with here. And this one's been really good because I have some variety in the moves here, which does really help. And Matt is correct on Rust Bucket, because that was something I ran into. I am dropping Earth Power I'm dropping Earthquake for Earth Power, because that's what I've been playing with in Showdown. Because I was finding that Earthquake wasn't doing enough damage because it's an attacking move, not a special attack. And as you can see by the stats on the screen, it is definitely a special attacker. So I switched over to Earth Power since that was a special attack. But the Discharge still comes in clutch because I have it next to Iron Treads, which is a ground steel. This one is not trained up yet, so you can ignore the stats and the moves. But this one, Matt let me shiny hunt in his game, so I can have it. So I'm gonna have Iron Treads as well, which is nice because it does have Earthquake as a spread move. But it also has some other good variety on moves, and it does have a fighting move, so if I come across anything that's weak to fightings, like ice types or anything, it makes it very convenient. Then the next one I have is Glamora, so my shiny Glamora, and Glamora is fragile as heck, but it has some really good moves that hit across the field, and it can do a lot of damage. So in this case, the important thing that we have on it is Sludge Wave. So Sludge Wave is just like Earthquake and just like Discharge. It's a move that hits everybody, including your teammate. The important thing, what's nice to get to, like Gardevoir avoids it, but on top of that, Iron Treads, being a steel type, does not take any damage from poison. So it pairs really nicely next to Iron Treads, so Iron Treads can switch in and not take any effect, or if I Terastallize any of my Pokemon to Steel, since I have a bunch of those, they won't take any effect. And having that Sludge Wave is really nice, because right now in the meta, there is a lot of Fairy Pokemon. And a lot of grass Pokemon, because people will Terastallize their Pokemon to grass in order to try to avoid the spores, which is a good strategy. But a lot of people are running grass, and a lot of them are running it on Pokemon like Armarouge and having it be on so that they absorb the fire. So having a Pokemon that's not a fire Pokemon be able to do some damage to grass types is also really nice. Next up, we have Kilowattrel. We have shiny Kilowattrel. So Kilowattrel pairs really nicely next to a lot of these. So it has Volt Absorb. So if it's next to Sandy Shocks and a Discharge, instead of taking damage from the Discharge, it actually heals from the Discharge, which is really nice. And it can be next to an Earthquake without taking any damage. So it's really coming clutch because it's a good fast Pokemon where I can set the Tailwinds. Having Volt Switch so I can get out of there if needed has been really nice. So I've had a lot of really good luck with Kilowattrel. It's been really, really good for me. And then the last Pokemon is going to be Dragapult. My brain just for some reason just tried to say a totally different Pokemon name, which is completely unrelated. Last one's going to be Dragapult. I was able to track down a shiny in Matt's game. So once I evolve it up, it's going to be my final teammate. And this one comes in clutch because while it's not immune to any of the spread moves that are coming off the other Pokemon, it does have moves that'll let me get off the field. So, Phantom Force is really nice because unlike a lot of the other 2-turn moves, this one goes through Protect, which is very convenient because I can basically get off the field because I'm fast. I move before the Earthquake or the Sludge Wave, and then I come back in, and even if they protect it, I go through that. So that's really great. Dragon Darts, which I don't have yet on this one, because I haven't finished building this one, is another good one because it's a move that's a spread move. It hits the other team for both of them, but if one of them protects or one of them is immune to it, like a fairy, instead it hits both moves onto one Pokemon. So it's really nice when it comes to being able to do some damage to the other team and not have to worry about Protect, because that was one of the big things I realized is I was hurting a lot when it came to Protects, because people are really good at like shuffling between Protect, something I do, but a lot of times I needed to get better at judging when someone was going to Protect, and being able to hit through Protect or being able to hit someone despite the Protect, like next to taking down the other Pokemon. Very helpful. So had a lot of really good luck with this one as well. So while there is a lot of ice Pokemon still in the meta, I run it with a Ghost Terra type. I have some really good luck with it. And it pairs nicely next to basically everybody because I am able to protect or able to just get off the field in those cases. So I've really had a lot of good luck. Like one of the things that we did with Gardevoir is we built her for max speed. Well, not quite max speed, just short of max speed. But we built him so that way I outspeed almost everything in the game. The only thing I don't outspeed is booster energy Pokemon. Because I'm just basically maxed. I think I do end up outspeeding we built it so I outspeed Flutter Mane, which is one that's very fast. And I even, because I am Choice Scarfed, I even outspeed Iron Bundle, as long as they don't boost her energy. So it's nice to be able to hit them fast, because even if I do come across an Iron Bundle, that energy ball is really able to just take it out. So I have some really good luck with that. So I've been playing with this team on Showdown. I'm having a lot of really good luck with it. So I'm going to finish building it in here, and hopefully by the next stream, I'm going to be able to play with it a little bit on the ladder. But until then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my team back from Orlando, and we're going to do a little bit of ladder climbing and see how the Orlando team went. So it's going to take me a couple minutes, I'm sure, to get back into it because I haven't played with this team in a week. But let's see how it goes. I need to change an item back because I took items off of my team for my new team. You need leftovers. I'm not going to change... not you. You need leftovers. I'm not going to change the Terra type back for this, just because this wasn't a Terra type that really came up too much. And I don't want to waste the shards, because shards are expensive. But, so, everything's going to be the same, except for Hair Trap, who did switch into Terra types, but nothing too major. I love balls, right? Yeah, that's a reminder. If you haven't yet, make sure you go in and go in and do your mystery gift. There is the code is love 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 with the 0 instead of an O. And it was going to give you 2 love balls, which you can't currently get in the game through like buying or anything. You have to win them through the auction or through the Ace tournament. So definitely recommend, if you haven't yet, make sure you go in. The code is love love love. But yeah, so make sure you get those. Okay, everyone has their items back, so let's go ahead and now. And turn my volume back on. See if I can find a trainer. I haven't done the ladder in a week, and my ranking went from 4,000 to 18,000, so that tells you, Oh, okay, no trainer found. Let's try again. There we go. Their name is Valentine's Day themed, it seems. Okay, so we got some Paradox Pokemon, we got Tandemaus. Okay, so in this case, something that I've been seeing a lot has been Arcanine is because it uses Intimidate, but they usually run Bulk Up with the Annihilate. No, I don't want that, because there might be a chance that it's a Defiant Annihilate. Called that one. So if it is Defiant, I don't want to I don't want to hit it with a speed drop because that'll just make it attack higher. So Terra is turning into... Okay, that ice move is not going to do very much. Oh, but I got the freeze. Awesome. That's good. I'm party shotting the mouse hole just in case it decides it wants to hit us with a population bomb. I'm gonna bring in Garchomp. If it does population bomb into Garchomp, it's gonna take damage every time it hits there. I've got a freeze on the mouse hole too! Well, that was unexpected. So, this would have been a great luck to have at Zed Regionals, wouldn't it have? Okay, so I'm gonna Earthquake and I'm going to Protect. So now FedEx is not going to be affected by the earthquake. And they're both dead. Excellent. Well, those freezes definitely came in clutch there. Okay, they have their Iron Bundle now. And Arcanine. Okay. Okay, so they also have Photosynthesis and they went Speed. So at this point, it's most likely going to be a Speed tie. So in this case, I'm going to Protect Garchomp. And I'm going to Freeze Dry into the Iron Bundle. Like, possibly, because I'm possibly should have tried to speed reduce them and drop their speeds by using Icy Wind. Okay, so that was a speed tie. They went, okay, good, good. Wait, no, that wouldn't be a speed tie. I say speed tie, but I realize this Iron Bundle doesn't have... My Iron Bundle is max speed, but it isn't, it's not, my words are not working. It's not, booster energy, so it's actually be way faster than me. So, stupid statement. Ignore me. Because I have my booster energy on my, my Roaring Moon. So this is actually faster than me significantly. But I'm now taking away my ice weakness. Okay, protected. I'm protecting. And I resisted the play rough. Excellent. Freeze dry into me, which is going to take me out. That's fine. It should still be faster than Arcanine. So even if I don't... So now it's going to be Arcanine versus 3 Pokemon, so I'm not really in bad shape here. Like, the Flare Blitz is going to hurt. Yeah, there it goes. I did damage to it, though. I probably, in retrospect, should have Earthquaked, since I knew they were going to take out my Iron Bundle, because then I would have done damage to both of them and probably knocked out the Arcanine as well. But I have Fake Out Pressure again, so I'm going to Fake out the Arcanine, which will stop it from Play Roughing into Roaring Moon. And then I'm going to Acrobatics into the Arcanine. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, Extreme Speed Dragonite, Glamora, probably Sludge Wave, definitely gonna have, Toxic Spikes, Iron Bundle we talked about, Flutter Mane is just fast and hits like a truck because it has fairy moves. The Great Tusks doesn't do super well against flying moves, so Lunatenebrous is a good choice there, especially since they're going to probably put in for their Tailwind on their Talonflame. So in this case, I'm going to Angus is good against a couple of them. I'm going to bring in Angus in the back, because Angus is good against a couple of them. Okay, so they did not have booster energy on their Flutter Mane. I'm gonna Iron Head into it while also terastallizing. Because most likely they're gonna try to hit me with a fairy move. Okay, they Moonblast into Grimmsnarl, but I specifically built Grimmsnarl strong enough to withstand a Moonblast. Oh, they have Covert Cloak on it. Okay. So unfortunately, I was not able to fake out their Talonflame. I was expecting it to go for Tailwind, but there's going to be a Sash, right? Yep, Sash. Okay. Everyone I have is going to be weak to it, so I'm going to actually protect here. Okay, what are they sending in? Well, I just Spirit Broke into that, so that's going to be good. Ooh, or I'm not going to actually get to hit because the Brave Bird's taking me out. Okay. Less good. Yeah, I was considering Boom, and then I doubted myself in the last second, and I was running out of time. So, probably should have gone with Boom, but... Roaring Moon outspeeds everything on the field. Let's see what Terra type it's putting on it. Earth. Okay. Ground type. So it's going to do a lot of damage to my Pokemon with its Earthquake. I'm hoping I can kill it beforehand, but I doubt it now that it's no longer weak. Yeah, no. And there's the Tailwind. Okay. Not as great. This is going to be an Earthquake. That's going to hurt. Yeah. Garchomp's going to be gone. Yep. Okay. Like, Angus is in a good spot here, because now they're both very weak to Angus. Unfortunately, they're very fast. And they would clear Amulet. Okay. So I'm going to protect here. I'm going to try to take out the Talonflame. Okay, that's not great because it's going to reduce my damage. And something I did realize during the event is that I did not have any special attackers on my team, which definitely put me in a really rough spot. And that's something I wanted to make sure I had for the future. Oof, okay, yeah, I'm not winning this because of that burn. And there's the loss. Okay. So in that one, I definitely messed up when I was trying to choose my Pokemon. I realized that I should not have Terastallized. Probably should not have Terastallized right up the bat. I had assumed that they were going to try to hit me with the Flutter Mane into the Garchomp versus into the Grimmsnarl. So that put me definitely in a rough spot because I didn't have that Terra for later. But yeah, I was expecting the, and also that having the covert cloak on the Talonflame definitely threw me off. And that's something that open team sheets would have helped with, because I would have seen it had a covert cloak, so I wouldn't have faked it out. So that definitely makes a difference there. Okay. They have a Spore, they have a Tailwinder. They have a lot of fast people. FedEx is so weak, and that's why I like struggle with bringing FedEx, because FedEx just is very squishy. Also, you may have noticed I got a new chair. I finally got a more comfortable chair, which definitely is helping, because it's no longer as painful to sit for as long, which is great. Okay. Well, neither of these can be faked out, so that's rough. So in this case, I'm going to terrestrialize to water, because I cannot survive a Make It Rain unless I'm water. And I don't want a Parting Shot. I can't Parting Shot into the Golden Go. I'm actually going to Spirit Break into the Fluttermane in case it has a Sash. Because if it has a Sash, then if I double hit it, because the hammer will take it down to 1, and then I'll hit it again. It's going to be faster than me, but hopefully I can survive it with not too bad, because I know that, like I said, I know I can survive one Moonblast into, and that was a good call there, because they were actually going to fire into Tinkaton, so I actually kind of predicted that. Special attack doesn't matter. Okay, it's actually a Life Orb. And there's the Make It Rain, which fully takes out Grimmsnarl, but Tinkaton can easily survive that now. And Boom is going to hit onto the Fluttermane, which is not sashed, so it should die. There we go. So I think that was a pretty even trade. Like, yeah, losing Hair Trap is rough, but they lost one of their big attackers. I don't want to bring out Garchomp. Oh, that's fun. I didn't want to bring out Garchomp because Garchomp has spread moves, and Boom does not have Protect because it's Assault Vest. Most likely, was there attack heightened, or is there speed heightened? I thought it was attacked, which means I outspeed. So in this case, I'm going to play rough into there. I am going to Throat Chop. I'm actually going to accept the Tailwind, because I'm guessing that Roaring Moon is running the same set I am, because it's pretty standard. And they don't have any dragon moves. Okay, so they're going to try to start putting me to sleep. I'm guessing they're going to have to go to Flying Terra, because that's what everyone does. That is kind of the meta for it. Oh, Steel. Interesting. Not what I was expecting. So my play rough's not going to do much. The good news is I resist it with Tinkaton. So even though I'm not doing much damage, I still resist it. Lockjaw. Interesting. I was not expecting that. They're running a very different set than I thought they were going to be running there. So in this case, I'm way more afraid of the Breloom. Ooh, okay, I survived it. Breloom is sashed. Yep, cool. And I also did boom into it, so that Breloom's dead. Because I'm very afraid of the fighting moves into my dark Pokemon, since that'll make me out. Iron Head is going into probably... Or Moon. Okay. So now I'm at a point where I am stuck because if I Earthquake, I am going to kill Tinkaton. However, both of them are very weak to Earthquake. So I'm going to knock off knowing that Earthquake is going to take it out. And just... Sorry, Tinkaton. Trying for the double protect, but now it is a single target Earthquake, and that failed, so this should take it out. Go, and that's it. Boom was a worthy sacrifice. Thank you, Boom, for your sacrifice there. So, and that's and you can see it's one of the things I kept running into, which is Boom's Assault Vest, so Boom doesn't have Protect, because Boom can't use Protect, and if Boom ever ended up next to Nibbles, I couldn't Earthquake. Especially if I wasn't terastallized. It was just really rough. So... Boom understands, for sure. Ah, Wolfie's team. So I have yet to play Wolfie's team with my team here. I've been playing it with my new team. So let's see. I need things that can switch out and deal with Psychic types. I don't have answers for Psychic types on this team. Boom. Actually, Lunatinebrus. Boom. Wait. So this is a Perish Trap team. I have not played against it with this team, so this is going to be very interesting. So I know what this team does very intimately. I have fought it a bunch of times now because it won regionals, so everyone's playing with it. So the important thing is not to get trapped in, and you have to kill... You have to kill the Pokemon before they are able to get the Parasong off. There's a photosynthesis. Speed, okay. They're going to bring in the... yep, Gothitelle. So Gothitelle locks you in, so you can't get out unless you're using a move. Oh, yep, there we go. So they prevent me from faking them out. So I'm going to try... okay, that's okay. I'm going to try to prevent it from getting the Parasong off. There we go. Okay. I see Matt just recommended the same thing that I just did in the chat. They probably don't know what to do now that I prevented them from using Parasong. So they want the attack drop, but it doesn't matter, because I'm going to get Iron Bundle out of here not too long from now anyways. I'm just trying to make them slow. Because if I can make them slower than me, that's what matters. Okay, they missed the play rough. Okay, the taunt is gone, but they are very slow now. So I am hoping that I can kill them before they get the Parasong off. They're trying to lock me back in. That's fine. Ah, okay. Good call. They want to be able to fake it out. They're gonna probably protect the Gothitelle, which is why I'm like trying not to. At this point, I'm trying to kill. Yep, they're faking out the Tinkaton, so I can't do a lot of damage with it. I want to freeze. Please freeze. No. Okay. Well, I avoided it as long as I could. Frickin' ah. So now the important thing is to kill the Gothitelle. Because the Gothitelle is locking me on the field. I'm guessing double protect? Yeah, okay. They're trying to now wait out my Perish Song. My death count. So I need to kill the Gothitelle this turn. I specifically built my team for the new one to also be able to have moves that go in and out. Okay. That's smart. Gigaton Hammer resists, or resist Gigaton Hammer. The Freeze Dry, however, they just set themselves up to actually take extra damage, because now it's super effective. So that's actually huge. Okay. So, and a crit. Good job for FedEx. FedEx is really like, I'm not getting locked in and killed. Okay. So Gothitelle is out. I'm no longer locked into the field. Okay, disable on knockoff. Okay. That's fine. I am now able to get out. That's what matters here. So I'm actually just going to do a hard double switch. I need to get both of them off the field in order to not have them die to the Perish Song. So, hard double switch. Problem is they're probably going to use if they don't switch out. So if they don't switch out the Screamtail, it dies. So they're going to switch out the Screamtail. The downside is I don't know if they use it. There it is. Okay. If they use a fairy move into either slot, it's going to kill. But the good news is that at least I've reset my Perish counter. So Moonblast. Okay, yeah. Oh, and a crit. Okay, yeah. So Roaring Moon's dead. Fortunately, it's a waste of Roaring Moon. But I still have Iron Bundle, and I have Fake Out Pressure again. Fluttermane's going to be faster, so I'm going to... At this point, I'm actually going to Terrastallize Tinkaton, because I think it's my best shot. avoiding any fire moves off the Ice Arcanine because I know it has Flare Blitz. I'm gonna try to kill the Fluttermane. The Fluttermane is sashed, I believe, if I remember Wolfie's team correctly. No, the Scream Tail? Something's... Oh, it's sashed, I don't remember. That's fine. Called that. Like, that's gonna hurt, but it doesn't kill. Okay. There's a chance to do a Protect here on the Fluttermane again. Okay. Yep, there's a Protect. Keeping them honest. Arcanine is dead. Cool. So they're going to bring their Perish Songer back in. They're at a disadvantage now. If they Perish Song, both their Pokemon die. I have 3. I can still rotate. So I just need to stay alive long enough to rotate my Pokemon through. I didn't realize Ari's been sitting with me this whole time. Because I need them to not kill... I don't want to switch any Pokemon until I hit a Perish Song, just so I can do a rotate. So I need to keep them all alive. Cool. They know they need to take it out, so I don't have 3. So they are trying to now take it out. So... You'd be surprised, Matt. I have had people try to Perish Song in the end, so I just want to make sure I can rotate. Just in case. I'm paranoid. Cool. I win. There's no way they can beat me. That's 1 against 3. And they're slower than me now. That was probably my hardest go against this team, just because I'm used to playing it with the new team. So that was definitely rough. But as you can see, a lot of it's just maneuvering over and over, making sure I'm not staying on the field, taking out the Pokemon that locks me in. That Shadow Tag is huge, so being able to take that out is important. So we're going to do at least one more battle. I'm going to close off the stream at 8 so I can eat dinner, because food is important. But we're going to do at least one more battle, maybe 2. Bermusinho. Okay, so a little bit different. Gothitelle to lock people in. Trying to lower attack. Okay. Got sleeping ones. Okay, so... if they bring their Iron Hands, Angus is a liability. They don't bring their Iron Hands. Angus is great. We're going to put Angus in the back. That was a clattering sound from the other room. Let's put... we're going to Nibbles in the back. So they're probably going to fake out both my Pokemon, because both those Pokemon have fake out. But I'm faster. Oh, cool. They did not fake out on the Gothitelle. That's good. Okay. That's fine. My Pokemon are surprisingly slow. Especially these two. These are my 2 slowest. Okay, they're terastallizing, so what are they becoming? Guessing Iron Hands is going grass, because everyone does grass. Oh, fire. Resist the fairy. Okay. Well, I'm not going to kill it, but at least do some damage. Oh, that Drain Punch is going to hurt. Hate Drain Punch. I resist the Psychic. Knocked off does some damage. Okay, no longer has a berry. So I'm going to Parting Shot the Iron Hands. I'm going to knock off the Gothitelle again. Okay. Okay, I'll knock off the Amoonguss, so that's good, whoever it has. So it no longer has its berry, but it is gonna hit hard with the Drain Punch, I'm sure. But I have Aqua Jet. Angus is not... No, okay. Unfortunate. I forgot. Angus does not have hip. That's gonna hurt. For some reason I thought I had goggles on Angus, but I do not. Right, Angus is clear amulet. Okay. That's okay. Just means... How much is left of their Trick Room? Okay, this is the last turn of Trick Room. Please don't Rage Powder again. Okay, didn't Rage Powder. Angus should now... Oh, it did Rage Powder. Darn it. Bye-bye, Angus. Unfortunately, that belly drum and now not being able to kill it because the Rage Powder definitely messed me up. Okay. I need Garchomp to wake up. Nibbles, wake up. I don't like this. Nibbles, wake up. I don't like this. I can no longer use Trick Room now with the taunt, so that's good. Nibbles woke up. Oh, it's so close. Yeah, I'm not winning this one. Hi, Ariana. We will be surrendering this, Ariana. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Let's do one more to call it the end. So let's do one more. Okay. Okay, last one. Let's see what we got. Ooh. Did I almost knock over my background? Okay. Bum, bum, bum. So Angus is a good starter here, because Angus is pretty good against most of these. In the back, I'm gonna do Boom and... or do Luna Tenebris in the back? Okay, Iron Bundle is the fastest thing on the field. So we're going to fake out the Iron Bundle, and we are going to Raging Bull into the Great Tusk. They're taking their time. Okay, they're Terastallizing. Okay, Iron Bundle is becoming... oh, it's immune to the Fake Out! No! Okay. Very clever. Very clever. That's gonna hurt. I was not expecting a Ghost Terra on that. That's very situational. I'm gonna try to see if it can do some damage to the Iron Bundle. Luckily, Boom has a dark move. Downside is I'm now weak to everything on the field. Okay, Hydro Pump, that's actually not too bad. Oh, that's gonna hurt. And they crit. I haven't been able to hit them once. They're predicting me really well. There's the mouse hold. Fake out's not gonna do anything, but... Like, I'm still weak to the ice moves, but I don't outspeed it. But I should be able to take it out, hopefully, if it doesn't kill me. Okay. I did not kill it. Oh no. Need to kill this thing. I'm not killing this thing. Yeah. Oh, this one's a loss. That Ghost Terra, I was not expecting that. If the Ghost Terra hadn't been there, I would have won. Or at least had a better shot, but it just messed me up from the start. Like, I don't know if I would have won, but I would have gotten this off the field really fast. So that's a very smart Terra choice, because Fake Out is very prevalent, so... Since they have most of their team left, I will surrender. So yeah, so with that, I'll wrap up for today's stream. Thank you so much for joining me on my Orlando recap. I will be streaming again on Thursday, this time with my new team. So definitely tune in to check it out, because we'll be trying it out and seeing how it works on the ladder. Thank you all so much, and have a great night.